Welcome back, turners. Well, in my last video I hinted around the fact that I got a new lathe, and so I want to do just a little overview of the lathe that I purchased. It's a Grizzly model 0838 G0838, yeah, and it's a 16, I believe they bill it as a 1624 lathe, so 16 inches of throw, and 24 inches of bed length between the centers. And of course that's extendable with bed extension, so it can become a rather large lathe. So I want to show this to you. I haven't seen any other videos about this particular lathe from Grizzly, even though I believe it's been offered for the better part of 2 years now. I don't know why there are no other videos, but this is just going to be a little overview of the features that I saw in this lathe and why I decided it was the right lathe for me. So I'm not saying it's the right lathe for you, and in fact I am not selling Grizzly. So again, I don't get any kind of endorsement, I don't get reimbursement. I bought this lathe with my own money. So I'm going to share with you my my thoughts on this lathe and why I decided to pick it up. So I also wanted to give a special shout out and thanks to all the folks that have been subscribing. I just recently passed 2,000 subscribers, which just amazes me, and I'm so thankful for that. It's just incredible. So thank you guys. In the spirit of YouTube threshold giveaways, I'm going to give away 2 of these Reed Gray inspired bowl depth gauges that I showed in my last video. So if you're interested, so I have 2 of those that I just recently put together. There's going to be an email address in the link below where you can reply, and again, just it's going to be a random drawing from all the folks that respond. So respond to the email and let me know what the measurement is on your lathe from the front of the headstock to the end of your chuck jaws, so I can cut the PVC piece to fit for you guys. And in the next video I'll of course announce the results of that. So again, because I'm paying for shipping to you guys, I really can only afford to ship to the continental United States. Well, here it is, guys, all fully assembled. It came very nicely crated in a wooden crate, and of course the legs that are on there are cast iron legs. I did that assembly myself, and again, this particular lathe has, I believe it's a variable frequency drive. You can see, bear with me a second, there we go. There's that 2 horsepower motor hanging off the back of it. This lathe is a 220 lathe, and I had 220 in the shop that I had never previously used before, so I decided that I wanted to put that to use, and this gave me an opportunity to do that. So one of the main features that I really liked about this lathe, besides the added capacity, again, I went from the Harbor Freight 1233, or whatever you want to call it, the 34706 model, had a 12-inch swing. This one has a 16-inch swing over the bed, and both the headstock and tailstock are compatible with all the Morse taper 2 and 1 inch by 8 TPI threaded accessories that I have. So for a larger lathe, instead of being 1.25" by 8 TPI, this model comes with 1 inch by 8 TPI. So that means I didn't have to buy all new chucks and faceplates and whatnot. So again, I thought that was a bonus. Again, it's a Morse taper 2, and so all those things that I have that are Morse taper 2 will also fit the tailstock and the headstock spindle. So again, this is what the lathe looks like fully assembled. Now there's another feature I want to show you, so let me do that now. Okay guys, this is that other feature I wanted to show you. Sliding headstock. So whereas the Harbor Freight lathe had a fixed headstock that would rotate, this one doesn't rotate, but it does slide. And it'll slide all the way to the end of the bed, which means that I can do outboard turning off the end, and the lathe bed extension will bolt down lower on the leg set so that I can do turnings of platters and shallow bowls up to 28 inches in diameter. So to me that was another cool feature. Now that is not only this lathe, of course. Everything I'm showing you is offered on a number of other lathes from Grizzly and other manufacturers. But for me, again, that's what kind of made this one compatible with my turning goals and my shop. Again, good LED readout. It is 2-speed, meaning that there is a high and low range on the pulleys, which again is not something novel to this lathe. I do like the fact that in the low range I can get this the RPM down to about, I want to say 70, even though it says 100. Here it actually does. Let me see if I can. I'll turn it on. We'll take a look. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. Oop, did that in the wrong order. Let me try that again. Off. On. There we go. Okay. Let me turn that down. Okay. So that's turning at what the tachometer is registering as 63 RPM. And that seems to be the lowest before the VFD just shuts off completely. So this is totally capable of, there's like 90, there's 112. So really good low speed, which of course is something I didn't have with the Harbor Freight lathe because of the Reeves drive and the way that was set up. It really only had a bottom end of about 600 RPM. The other nice thing about this is that it comes with a banjo that has a proper 1-inch tool post usability. So the hole in the banjo is 1 inch, and that means I can use. So I've had some bowl rests and things that I actually bought to use with that Harbor Freight lathe that I haven't been able to use, such as this one for doing the insides of a bowl. But this fits in here just nicely, and of course it's a big enough lathe that I can set this at the right height for doing bowl work. So again, that was another feature that I really like. The other thing, and I don't know if you can see it, these handles. Now, if you remember, I had made some overlay handles for the Harbor Freight lathe. These are really large pieces of metal here, and they have a nice big grip on it. This is really comfortable to me. So I didn't have to make any overlay handles. These are just the kind of things that they're the nice to haves on a lathe like this. So one thing I haven't done yet, and I don't know if you can see it, but it'll be coming soon. I'm going to point you guys down a little bit, down here under the legs. So down here there's the ability to put in a shelf between the cast iron legs. So I'm going to do that before I get this thing in use. I want to put the stuff that I had under the Harbor Freight lathe under here. So not a long video today, and I'm not going to do any turning on this just yet. I've got some projects in mind, and of course you'll be seeing this in the future for those projects. So one of the other attractive things to me about this particular lathe, again, you know, I'm not a professional wood turner. I'm a hobbyist. You know, I have a finite budget, and I'm not making money, you know, with what I'm doing. At least not today. Maybe in the future. But again, I mostly donate and gift the things that I make. But the thing that attracted to me about this was its price. So when I picked this up, it happened to be on sale, and I want to say it was just under $1,500. Now, that's a pretty good chunk of money, and for the capabilities it has, though, I thought that that was a very reasonable price. If you compare it to some of the other Grizzly models, and especially if you start going to other manufacturers, it's really hard to find a lathe at this capacity with this kind of variable frequency drive and you know, the features of a quote-unquote big lathe like this. It's hard to find something that's down around $1,500. So I took advantage of that, and that's why it's you know, now in my shop and has replaced that little Harbor Freight model that gave me great service. So again, no knocks on that Harbor Freight lathe other than, you know, its size and the capacity, and but this one I expect some heavy duty stuff out of, and we will see that as we get to some projects. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for following along, subscribing. If you like the videos, remember to like and subscribe. Also check out my channel for the other woodworkers and wood turners that I subscribe to. Again, I don't monetize these videos. They're always ad-free and family-friendly. So thanks for joining along. And one other thing I'm going to show you before we cut out for today is the other thing that I happened to pick up from Grizzly, just because it also happened to be on sale. So let's take a look at that real quick. Oh, there it is, guys. This is the other piece of equipment. Let me do a little pan down on it. It's the Grizzly 35th Anniversary Edition 18-inch bandsaw. I had wanted a bandsaw with a little bit more capacity, so we'll pan down on that. There you go. There's that beautiful little logo. That's a G0838 Anniversary Edition bandsaw. 2 horsepower. I got it wired for 220, so it can run off actually that same 220 outlet that I use for the lathe. So that also came very nicely crated, and I'll show you more about that in the next video. Alright, turners, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.